We will figure out the regular season. We will figure out the postseason in 157 days from right now. Super Bowl 58, Las Vegas, Nevada, and hopefully it'll be the Jacksonville Jaguars playing out there. But there's a lot to do over the next 157 days. It begins tonight, and we are glad you are with us. The NFL is back. Hacker After Dark on a Thursday. 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. We are going to talk a ton of National Football League. I was in the Jaguar locker room earlier today. In less than 10 minutes, you will hear the conversation that I had with Jaguar offensive lineman Ben Bartch. First, you're going to hear from Jaguar defensive lineman Foley Fatukasi. Caught up with both of those guys. I also talked with Jaguar rookie Tyler Lacey. We're going to play Andre Cisco, who I had the chance to catch up with earlier in the week. So in the next 25 minutes, my one-on-one interviews with Bartch, Fatukasi, Lacey, and Andre Cisco. Also coming up later on, Leon Searcy. You get him every day on XL Primetime. He's my co-host, along with head coach Dave Campo on the fifth quarter, which debuts on Sunday. Leon will be with us every Thursday night here on Hacker After Dark, and that comes up at about 8:40 or so. So we are absolutely jam-packed. My 4-year-old, Little Hack, will stop by for the weekly picks. In the 9 o'clock hour, we'll go to Indianapolis, get the Colts' perspective on the game Sunday, and we won't ignore college football. To the victors go the spoils. We'll talk a little Florida State football tonight as well, as they are just on cloud nine after demolishing LSU, and they open up at home, Doak Campbell Stadium, Saturday night against Southern Miss. With you till 10 o'clock. We'll keep you updated on the Chiefs and the Lions when they kick off. And actually, I have a Kansas City flavor around the big deal of the night, because every night on Hacker After Dark, we do give you a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
You know, I've asked the question this entire offseason. I think many of you have been curious about this. How will the Jaguars meet the success of last year with the expectation of this year? Keep in mind, most of these guys, by most, I mean darn near all of these guys in Jaguar uniforms for their entire career, have never been discussed nationally. You don't turn on ESPN and talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. You don't turn on the radio or listen to any podcast and have people picking Jacksonville to go to the Super Bowl. That just hasn't happened ever, or at least in a long, long time. Well, it is happening this year, right? Bill Cowher, I saw him earlier today, former NFL head coach, Hall of Famer. He has the Jaguars in the Super Bowl. Our friend Pete Prisco, CBSSports.com, he picks the Jags to go to the Super Bowl. My friend Tyler Dunn, GoLongTD.com, who wrote so many terrific articles this offseason on the Jaguars. He has picked Jacksonville to go to the Super Bowl. So there is a ton of expectations surrounding this football team. But the question has been asked, and I think it's a fair one, right? How will this young team, a team that has never dealt with expectation, a team that has been referred to in jokes and knee slappers around NFL watering holes for years and years and years, how all of a sudden will you go from being the joke of the league to one of the favorites of the league? Will that affect the team's mindset, the players' mindset, etc.? That brings me to today. So I'm in the Jaguar locker room. We're waiting on Calvin Ridley, who meets the media every Thursday. And the Jaguar locker room is just gorgeous. I mean, just it's state of the art. It is awesome. They got TVs everywhere, man. And I'm not talking about little TVs, Denmark. I'm talking about TVs in the Jaguar locker room. And the NFL Network is on. Of course, why wouldn't it be? NFL team, NFL locker room, you're going to run the NFL Network. Well, it just so happens about 3:30 this afternoon, the NFL Network, in previewing the Kansas City-Detroit game, played about a 10-minute feature on the Chiefs beating the Jaguars in the divisional playoff last year. And being in that locker room and watching those players watch that game on television, man, that was an interesting moment for me. You could tell that loss back on January 21st still eats at this team, man. It still bothers them like nobody's business. They were yelling at the TV screen. They knew what happened. They were there. That happened to them on that field. They know what was going on. They knew what the highlights were going to show on the NFL Network earlier today. But they were just screaming at the TV. It bothered them. It's 6.5 months later. No, wait a minute. 7.5 months later. And that still bothers them. So this team does have a lot of expectation. This team is being talked about in very high regard. But man, what I saw today, they are very motivated. Very motivated. And I think that's a terrific sign. An absolutely terrific sign. Again, that'll be a big topic next week, right? When Kansas City comes in here for the home opener. We'll see what the Chiefs do tonight. By the way, if you are a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, and I'm assuming if you're listening to Hacker After Dark right now, a large majority of you are Jacksonville Jaguar fans, put on your blue tonight, man. You're rooting for the Detroit Lions. Anytime this year, Buffalo or Cincinnati or Kansas City or any of the AFC hierarchy is playing a team in the NFC, you're rooting like heck for that NFC team. Go Detroit. Aiden Hutchinson, get after it. Jared Goff, do your thing. Amon St. Brown. Jamar Gibbs, have a field day at Arrowhead. No Travis Kelce, no Chris Jones. Put a loss on the Kansas City Chiefs. Help us out here in Jacksonville. Any loss to an NFC team by Kansas City or Cincy or Buffalo is going to be gold this year. Pure gold if you're a Jaguar fan. So let's root like heck for the Detroit Lions. Perfect world for me. Detroit wins, but it's about 50-49 because I got Mahomes in a couple fantasy leagues. So I'd like to see Mahomes do well. But at the end of the day, I want Detroit to have more points than Kansas City. Travis Kelce, the tight end, is missing his first game in the National Football League. Remember, he hyperextended his knee in practice. Apparently, he was begging the coaching staff and trainers to play. They're choosing not to. It's an easy decision. Next week for Kansas City is much more important than this week. You're playing an NFC team this week. You're in Jacksonville next week. That could mean tiebreakers. That has all sorts of implications potentially on down the line. So I don't blame the Chiefs at all. If Kelce missing tonight means he can play here in Jacksonville in 10 days, that is absolutely the right decision. It's a decision the Chiefs should have done, and it's what they ended up doing. As I mentioned, I was in the Jaguar locker room earlier. I waited till the NFL Network stopped showing the Chiefs-Jaguar highlights. I'm telling you, the guys were fired up. They were not, particularly the defensive guys. Most of the guys were watching it because, again, there's TVs everywhere. But those defensive guys, that bothered them. The game was 7.5 months ago, and it bothered them. One of those defensive guys the Jaguars are counting on in a big way this year is Foley Fatukasi. Coming into his second year. Now, he had some injury concerns, right? He had been held out of practice for a while, but he's not on the injury report. He appears he's good to go for Sunday. And I had the chance earlier today down in the locker room to catch up with Jaguar defensive lineman Foley Fatukasi. All right, inside the Jaguar locker room, Thursday edition. The Jaguars getting ready for the Indianapolis Colts. We got Jaguar defensive lineman Foley Fatukasi here with us on 1010XL. Foley, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good, doing well, feel healthy, blessed.
Well, that's the question. How is the health going into week one for you right now?
Pretty solid, doing pretty good. Headed in the right direction. I'm thankful for it.
Week one, opening day. Fired up, man. Got the big smile on your face. How excited are you to finally get out there with these games that matter?
Man, very excited. The guys are excited. Listen, it's been, a bit of a long time coming. Everybody knows how intense camp can get. But we're definitely excited to start playing games that count.
It's a big game, too, right? Division game on the road right out of the gate. I mean, this is an important one for you guys on Sunday.
Right. No, it is. It's definitely an important one. Division game. How I always grew up, or how I was taught. It's a twofer. But we know that they're a great, they're a really good opponent. We're really good, and we just want to go out there and do what we need to do.
When you watch the Colts on film, obviously Anthony Richardson, everybody's talking about the debut for the rookie quarterback, brand new head coach, and Shane Steichen. What have you seen when you watch film on Indianapolis?
I think they're a really good team. I think they're learning their craft, just as we are. But our main job is to go out there and just to do what we need to do, make sure everybody's where they need to be when they need to be there.
Year 2 for you here in Jacksonville. 12 months ago compared to where you are now, how much more comfortable are you with the scheme, with everything here about being a Jacksonville Jaguar?
I would definitely say everything is gelling a lot more, and that comes with the process. People of all the guys coming together, getting to know each other, knowing each other's languages, and everybody's getting on the same exact page. So it was good last year, but it's a lot better this year. So I would say I'm much more comfortable with it.
The excitement in this city. I mean, you guys feel that in this room, right? The fans are fired up for the opportunity. They think this team's going to be very good. Expectations. Do you sense how excited the fans are outside this building?
I would be a liar if I said I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fans are definitely excited. Everybody's rooting for us. It feels pretty good, to be quite honest. And I just, if I could give a message to the fans, just keep supporting us throughout the whole way. It's going to be, I anticipate it being a fun season.
Foley, best of luck on Sunday, man. We'll be watching.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ryan.
There you go. Foley Fatukasi here with us on Hacker After Dark. And, yeah, not on the injury report. Appears to be good to go. He's important. Without Devon Hamilton, he's important. Roy Robertson-Harris, Foley Fatukasi, Ledbetter, the guy we're going to talk to in the next segment, Tyler Lacey. He was limited today, although talking to him, you wouldn't, quite frankly, have known that, honestly. Those guys are important, man. It is an important deal for those guys to step up without Devon Hamilton being there for at least the first 4 weeks of the year. That's the defensive side of the ball. What about the offensive side of the ball? Ben Bartch is a guy that missed a lot of time last year due to a knee issue. In fact, he missed the last 11, 12 games of the year. He's gone through the long rehab process that really continued this entire offseason. He was just medically cleared a couple of weeks ago, right? And bam, here we are. In the starting lineup will be the left guard on Sunday when the Jaguars go to Indianapolis. In the Jaguar locker room earlier, I caught up with Jaguar offensive guard Ben Bartch. All right, Jaguar locker room getting ready for Indianapolis. Opening day coming up. Ben Bartch, Jaguar offensive lineman here with us. Ben, how we doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Ben, always appreciate the time. All right, opening day. Means a lot to a lot of guys. Probably a little more to you back from the injury. How excited are you to get back out there on Sunday?
I'm pumped. It's just great to be back with the guys and kind of start sailing the ship and burn the boats and kind of get this thing rolling and going where we want to go.
The offensive line is certainly a big part of this football team. When you guys look at the skill position guys on this team, a lot of excitement in the city. I'm sure you guys, the big guys up front, fired up as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're all great players. They're great teammates and men as well. So it's a great situation.
You're playing next to Walker Little and Luke Fortner coming up on Sunday. Let's talk about both guys. Let's begin with Walker. What have you seen out of him so far this year?
Yeah, he's a very talented player. I'm very good friends with both of them, so we all work well together and communicate well together. But two guys that are very meticulous in their process of preparation, and they match, the intensity and stuff.
When you look at Luke coming into his second year, you're not an old guy, but you know what it's like year 1 to year 2. What's that jump like?
It's confidence. A lot of it's playing well and then seeing yourself play well, and then you build confidence, and then you start playing well all the time. So he's just going to, with more and more time, I mean, he's a very intelligent player, and he's going to do well.
A couple more for Jaguar lineman Ben Bartch. Opening game on the road, division game. It's a big deal, right? This team has struggled up in Indianapolis in recent past. I know you guys want to change that on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Every game's a big deal. This is a divisional game. We're excited. We're going to work hard all week. So,
you think about the Indianapolis Colts and their defense. Probably the front four might be the strength of that defense. DeForest Buckner, Stewart. They got some dudes up there. How excited are you for that challenge?
Yeah, their interior guys are exceptional players. We're excited. It's always a physical game with them. But, yeah, we're very excited.
You've been around here a couple of years with what you guys did last year, the city. I mean, people are excited, right? I mean, you guys sense that, correct? You know the excitement going on in the city.
Yeah, we definitely were excited. The fans are excited, and they deserve, some wins. And as a city, I think that everyone's very excited. So, yeah.
Obviously, a laid-back locker room here, no question about it. Final question: what would a win Sunday mean to you guys on opening day?
Starting the season off right, capitalizing on all the work that we've put in this summer and this off season. And in our eyes, just kind of week by week, 1-0.
Ben, fans are fired up your back, man. Good luck on Sunday.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it.
There you go. Ben Barch, Foley Fatukasi. Thank those guys for joining us in the Jaguar locker room. Coming up, you'll also hear from Tyler Lacey and from Andre Cisco. NFL opening night. Kansas City taking the field out at Arrowhead. Again, no Chris Jones. He is in the midst of a holdout. No Travis Kelce. He's missing his first game in the NFL with the knee issue. Again, I think Kansas City definitely prioritizing next week over this week, holding Kelce out tonight in hopes of having him back here in Jacksonville in 10 days. But we'll keep you updated as the NFL season about to kick off in probably less than 5 or 10 minutes with Detroit and Kansas City. It is a Thursday night edition of Hacker After Dark with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. More Jaguar talk. Jaguar rookie Tyler Lacey and Jaguar safety Andre Cisco coming up next. Hacker After Dark rolls on here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
A weekend full of football starts Friday at 3.
Woo! Coming after you!
High school, college, Jaguars, and NFL.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehabilitation Football Friday night.
And that's football!
On 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey everyone, it's football season and we wanted to go to the drawing board to make this year's predictions. Let's compare our two long-haired blonde all-stars. Most touchdowns, best pricing in the market, most passing yards, pays the most for your trade, most receptions, free oil changes with every purchase, Super Bowl champion, wow customer service. I think we can make all this happen. Come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where you can score big all season long.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Mia here and my friends at Small Cakes are hosting a free meet and greet with Barbie. On Saturday, September 16th, Barbie will be at the River City Marketplace Small Cakes from 1 to 3 p.m. And then on Saturday, September 23rd, she will be going to their all-new Mandarin location. Take photos with Barbie, plus a Barbie activity sheet. We hope you and your little ones will join us for 2 rare opportunities to meet Barbie in person. Get all the details online at smallcakesjacks.com. Life is sweeter with a cupcake.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 7th, 1986, Dan Marino throws his 100th career touchdown pass in his 44th NFL game, breaking Johnny Unitas' record for the fastest to hit that mark.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dream Finders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dream Finders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dream Finders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamFindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Hey there, hot stuff. Duck Duck Air Conditioning is here to quack you up and cool you down. Tired of melting like a popsicle in summer? Our AC Wizards will have you cooler than a polar bear's toenails. Give us a quack at 904-862-6769 and say goodbye to sauna living. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, because sweating is for the ducks, not you. Quackalicious comfort is just a call away. 904-862-6769.
What is the world's largest cruise ship?
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to ask your agent about your homeowner's coverage. It's time to make the change to Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours, Southern Oak Insurance.
With a capacity of 7,000 guests and over 1,200 feet long, Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas is currently the world's largest cruise ship.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Expert Automotive is now open at our brand new state-of-the-art facility on St. John's Bluff Road. As always, every repair comes with a lifetime service repair warranty. Come celebrate our grand reopening by getting a free AC inspection, $50 off any repair, $199 brake specials, and free diagnostics all month long. Call 374-3373 or visit us at our new location at 2190 St. John's Bluff Road. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Rotator cuff tears are the most common overhead injuries I see. In order to avoid shoulder issues, make sure not to overload the front of the shoulder while also focusing on developing good scapular strength and maintaining flexibility in your lats. Proper hydration, nutrition, and supplementation are also crucial to joint and muscle health. Go Jag.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. About to get things underway. Kansas City and Detroit. How's this? So Chris Jones holding out, right? The all-world defensive lineman for the Chiefs. I believe he's actually at this game at Arrowhead, sitting in one of the boxes. I know teammates don't ever get involved when it comes to money. They're always going to side with their guy, right? Their teammate that wants to get paid from the business side of things. But I wonder if you show up to the stadium, Denmark, and sit in a suite and not helping the team, but you're there anyway. That's a little odd, is it not?
Yeah, odd is exactly the word. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you're in that situation, you're not mad at your players. You're mad at, the front office or whatever negotiation tactic that you want to get the contract for. So, I don't know. I think I would have stayed home if I were in that situation, but each of their own.
And at 8:24 Eastern Standard Time, the NFL regular season is underway. The Lions have it 1st and 10 at their own 25. Just for the record, last night we did our division picks. In the AFC, I went Kansas City in the West, Jacksonville in the South, Cincinnati and Buffalo. I know I really went out on a limb there. My wild cards were the Jets, the Chargers, and the Ravens. In the NFC, I had the Lions winning the North. I had San Francisco winning the West, Philadelphia in the East, and Atlanta in the South, with my wild cards being Dallas, Seattle, and Minnesota. So we'll keep you updated again. Detroit, Jacksonville, you want Detroit to win. Jaguar fans, root like heck for the Detroit Lions. We need a Lions victory tonight in Arrowhead. Jaguars and the Colts, they'll kick their season off Sunday at 1 o'clock. Jaguar rookie defensive lineman Tyler Lacey actually showed up on the injury report today as limited. We'll see what happens. I talked to Tyler in the locker room about the game on Sunday. He seemed ready to go to me, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully he can get out there. He's important. Without Devon Hamilton, he's important. You need him out there. for another big body in the middle. Here's my conversation from the Jaguar locker room earlier today with Jaguar rookie Tyler Lacy. In the Jaguar locker room on a Thursday afternoon, getting ready for the Indianapolis Colts. Ryan the Hacker Green here with Jaguar rookie Tyler Lacy. Tyler, how we doing?
I'm doing good.
Tyler, what's the situation going into opening day for you, man? How excited are you for this opportunity on Sunday?
I'm very excited. I mean, just to live out my dream. I know preseason I played, but this is actual real football game, a real NFL football game. So I'm just really excited to be out there on the field, especially grinding with the guys that's, had my back this whole time.
What have the veterans told you about Sunday? I mean, you got a big smile on your face right now just talking about it. You're obviously ready to go. What do you think that experience is going to be like Sunday morning?
I'm trying not to pay too much attention to it, just trying to focus on what the coach telling me to do, focus on our plays, and just being committed to the team and just walking out the stadium with a W.
I mean, it's an important game right out of the gate, right? Division game on the road. This team, the Jaguars, have not won up there in a long time. I know Doug Peterson has made a point of telling you guys about that this week. So what is your thought on Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson, and the team you're going to face on Sunday?
I think they're a good team. I mean, I don't really know too much about them. I mean, some of the guys, them played them for years. I mean, I'm just here watching the film, and I'm just new to it. So I feel like they're a good team, but, we still just got to have to go out there and play our Jags game and walk out with a W.
As we begin to wrap up with Tyler Lacy, preseason compared to regular season, have the veterans told you what the difference and what to expect on Sunday?
Oh, yes, sir. The game's just much faster. I mean, people's flying around, and it's just more to the game, and every second of the game just counts more and more.
Tyler, appreciate it, man. Best of luck on Sunday afternoon.
Thank you.
We talked about this with this rookie class, right? We knew Anton Harrison was going to be counted on right out of the gate as a starting right tackle. But I made the point, like many did, that there was not going to be a lot of other rookies that were going to be relied on, right? And I still believe that's true to an extent. But I think a lot of these rookies are going to contribute, man. Tank Bigsby's going to contribute. Britton Strange has done some really nice things. And those two D linemen, it's cool. Their lockers are right next to one another. They're going through this together. Yasir Abdullah and Tyler Lacy. Both of those guys, mid-round picks, both are going to be counted on in a big way for this Jaguar football team, especially now because Devon Hamilton's going to miss at least the first month. So very curious to see the debuts of Abdullah and potentially Lacy on Sunday up in Indianapolis. One of the leaders of that defense is Andre Cisco. You know what you're getting with Andre Cisco, one of the better young safeties in the National Football League. Our final interview of the week from the Jaguar locker room comes with Jaguar safety Andre Cisco. In the Jaguar locker room, Wednesday, getting ready for the Indianapolis Colts. Ryan the Hacker Green out here with Jaguar safety Andre Cisco. Andre, how are things going?
Blessed, bro. I can't complain.
Opening day on Sunday, man. I know if you're fired up, the fans are fired up. It's a great time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you obviously wait for this all year, and it came fast, honestly. But I'm happy it came at the time it did in terms of where we're at physically, mentally, and spiritually right now.
I've talked to a lot of your teammates this training camp. You guys, and you've been here a couple of years now, the city's excited. Fans are excited. I mean, it's ready to kick this thing off. Do you guys sense the excitement in the city for this football team?
Yeah, I mean, you hear about it nonstop, but it's good to see it, being in the community, bumping into people, and all they do is just say, go get the Super Bowl, go get the Super Bowl. So, that's obviously our plans, and so we're just taking it day by day right now.
Division road game to kick off the year, certainly a big challenge. What are your thoughts on Indianapolis on Sunday?
Division opponent, it means a lot. These wins are worth a little bit more than every other win. It's worth like 2 times because of the implications towards the end of the year. So it's good to get started early and not have to play catch up. So trying to flip the script from what we did last year towards the beginning, and this is how we start here.
Final moments with Jaguar safety Andre Cisco. Anthony Richardson making his first career start. You play against a lot of rookie quarterbacks, but what is challenging about them knowing that they're raw, but you still don't know what might necessarily bring to the table?
I would say the challenge is you don't have no film on this particular opponent besides preseason. So, it's hard to get a great feel on them and some of their progressions and maybe good or bad habits. But, we'll see and hopefully adapt quickly in game time. I know rookies are, coming in the league, you're going to make some mistakes and have to grow. So, hopefully we could take advantage. You had a pick last year against Indy. You hoping to get another one on Sunday? Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan every week. You got to think takeaways, got to make it happen. That's how you change the game. That's how you get your name out there. That's how you help your team win. Andre, best of luck. We'll be watching. Thank you, brother. There you go, Andre Cisco. So, again, thank you to Fatukasi, to Barch, to Lacy, and Cisco yesterday. I also had conversations with Aluikin, Brandon Sheriff,
among others. So really, and Devin Lloyd, can't forget him. So really appreciate the Jags locker room this week as we get ready for the Jaguars and the Colts again Sunday at 1 o'clock. And Sunday will be the debut of the 2023 fifth quarter. Myself, the head coach Dave Campo, the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, 9-Ball Heaven, University Boulevard, our brand new location for the fifth quarter. Come on out. We're going to be on 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Colts go final, and we certainly hope we are talking about a Jaguar victory on opening day. Updating you on the opening night in the National Football League. Both teams have had the ball. Both teams did very little with it. Detroit went 3 and out. They give it to Kansas City. Kansas City's giving it right back. 11:40 to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Detroit is about to come out for their second offensive series of the game. With Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. It is a Thursday night in Jacksonville, Florida, and you got it on Hacker After Dark. Coming up next, my friend Leon Searcy, former Pro Bowl offensive tackle of the Jaguars. You hear him every day on XL Primetime, and beginning tonight, you get him every Thursday right here on Hacker After Dark. Leon talking ball with the Hacker next here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
1010XL brings the swamp to the First Coast.
Flies the ladder, makes the catch. Touchdown, Gators.
The Gators welcome McNeese State. Pre-game coverage starts at 4:30. Kickoff at 7:30 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Record-breaking country music superstar Luke Combs, live in Jacksonville. Luke Combs, Growing Up and Getting Old Tour. Playing 2 nights at Everbank Stadium. Friday, May 3rd, with special guests Cody Jinks, Charles Wesley Godwin, Haley Winters, and the Wilder Blue. And Saturday, May 4th, with special guests Jordan Davis, Drew Parker, and Colby Acuff. Luke Combs playing 2 nights at Everbank Stadium, Friday, May 3rd and Saturday, May 4th, with a unique lineup each night. Get tickets now, and for full show info, visit LukeCombs.com. Presented by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network.
Is joint pain, soreness, and achiness getting in the way of your best life? Football legend Emmitt Smith refuses to back down to pain. That's why he's a huge advocate for QC Kinetics and their natural approach to getting you relief.
Look, we get one trip around, so I wouldn't ever let pain stop me from hanging out with my race team, traveling with my family, or golfing with my friends.
Emmitt's got it right. And QC Kinetics uses regenerative medicine to relieve that never-ending pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. And the best news, there's nothing foreign being introduced into your body. Just your own body's natural healing properties. No surgery or no downtime.
If pain's holding you back, maybe it's tennis, pickleball, running, hiking, or spending time with special people in your life, what are you waiting for? This is precious time. Get out there and get over to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Mia O'Brien.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
On XL Primetime from noon to 3, on Helmets and Heels Tuesday nights.
I swear to you, I know her.
And you can follow me on the 1010XL video and social media channels.
I would know her voice anywhere.
All Things Mia is driven by Arlington Toyota.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Allentown Mortgage gives you both a fast online application process and an expert mortgage advisor to get you the best mortgage at the most competitive rate in the nation. You can be a number at a big box bank and spend weeks filling out paperwork or call Allentown Mortgage. Eric summed it up in his 5-star Google review. Allentown knows the mortgage industry. When the big boxes say no, they say yes. The whole process went very smoothly. Get the mortgage experience you want. Go to AllentownMortgage.com. That's AllentownMortgage.com. NMLS number 103917, 4810 Executive Park, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, the Jaguars and the Colts, Sunday at 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Afterwards, 2 hours after the game, we'll have the fifth quarter. The head coach, Dave Campo, myself, and the Pro Bowler, Leon Searcy, a brand new location, 9-Ball Heaven over on University Boulevard. We invite you out. Hopefully, we're talking about a W on Sunday evening. With that, let me welcome in my friend Leon Searcy. You hear him every day on XL Primetime, and during football season, you get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Leon, it's been a while, man. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great, bro. Looking forward to the season.
Hey, man, it's finally here. All right, opening day, Leon, from a player's perspective. How cool is opening day? You worked the entire offseason, and now here we are on Sunday. The games finally count.
Well, you know what? It's nothing better than opening day because you got to remember, the expectations for everybody going into opening day is Super Bowl. I mean, listen, you go through training camp, you go through the struggles of training camp, your conditioning, you're working out, you go through the preseason, ultimately to get to actually what you want to do, which is to play real football. Now, preseason is fine, but these games count. So, I mean, it's a lot of guys who are looking forward to this opportunity, and all you can do is go 1-0. I mean, although the aspiration is to be holding the Lombardi in February at the end of the season, the best you can do to start the season off right is finish 1-0, and I think the Jaguars are going to approach this season that way. Even though they're coming into this season, probably with the expectations higher, reminds me a lot when I was in the 90s, back in the 90s. There hasn't been these kind of expectations on this Jaguar team since I played in the late 90s.
Leon, we had this talk last year in Nashville. The Jaguars hadn't won in Nashville in forever. They finally went up there and beat the Titans. A lot of new players, I get it. But in the last 9 trips to Indy, the Jaguars are 1-8, and they haven't won up there since 2017. It's time to go up there and win, right? They got to exercise some of those demons.
No, listen, yeah, absolutely. If you're 1-8 against a divisional rival at their home, listen, I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson is referencing those stats to his team. Listen, this game is more about us than them. We've got the better roster. We've got the better quarterback. We got the better running game. We got the better listen, if you were to go, if this was a tell of the tape, if this was a boxing match, it should be a landslide. I mean, offensively, defensively, special teams wise, it just has more to do with us than it has to do with the coach, in my opinion. This team needs to come out, play fast, score often, get after Anthony Richardson, stop the run, make him force him to throw passes, incomplete passes, throw into a tight window. I mean, listen, you don't play to the level of your competition. I hate to say it, but this Colt team, if you stack them up against us, I mean, roster for roster, there's absolutely no way this team should be in the game from start to finish.
Former Jaguar Pro Bowl offensive tackle Leon Searcy here with us on Hacker After Dark. Leon, and talking to some folks up in Indianapolis this week, they know they have a young secondary. They think their best chance to beat Jacksonville is to get after Trevor Lawrence with the front seven and primarily the front four, DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye, etc. Combine that with the unknown at offensive tackle, right? Walker Little at left, Anton Harrison making his first start at right tackle. You're the best right tackle in franchise history. You're the perfect person to ask. Do you have any concern about the Jaguars' O-line heading into Sunday?
Well, I have more concerns with Anton Harrison, how he's going to respond to the game. But listen, this guy came out from Oklahoma. I mean, he's played in the Big 12. He's played in the big games. I mean, so he's not going to be starstruck. I mean, the only thing that he has to deal with the fact is that the level of competition that he's going up against is not like the level of competition he played in college. These are grown men that are coming after you each and every play. It's not going to be any letdown from how they attack you. And listen, if I'm a defensive coordinator and you look at the front line of the offensive line, you're going to ask yourself, where is the supposedly weak link? And I'm not saying Anton Harrison is a weak link, but he's new to the game. So if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm going to attack the right side and see if this kid is going to answer the bell. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him not to be the weak link. He was a first-round pick for a reason. He's played in high-level competitions. It's going to be very interesting to see how he responds to it. I think the kid is going to respond well. I think he's had a solid camp. I think he's had a solid preseason. It's going to be a hostile environment. You're going to have to use the silent count. I just want to see, if he's going to be able to answer the bell. But overall, I think that if you give Trevor the amount, you know what Gus Bradley is going to do. All right, we had him here. Gus Bradley is going to play a cover 2 defense. All right, he's going to try to eliminate the big plays, and he's going to force you to dink and dunk. He's going to force you to throw short and immediate passes. And I think that if it's Trevor, he stays patient, utilizes, what's given to him. It utilizes the tight end in some of those open areas and those zones that they play, and we run the ball effectively, man. I mean, I think we could put up some numbers if Trevor's just patient, because Gus Bradley's defense is a cover 2 defense that wants to eliminate the big plays and forces you to go 10, 12, 15 play drives to score touchdowns.
Leon, Calvin Ridley has been sensational this offseason. Training camp, preseason, he's been the talk of the town. But this will be the first game on Sunday he's played in that has counted, that has mattered in 23 months. Does that matter, or are we going to see the same Calvin Ridley we've seen the entire offseason?
No, he's not going to change. I mean, listen, I've always told people that if you want players to respect the game, you take 2 things from them. You take money from them, and you take play from them. I mean, he's been absent from the game of football for almost 2 years. And he's ready to go. And you got to remember, in those 2 years that the football was taken away from him, I mean, this guy was considered one of the top 10 receivers in the NFL, if not top 5. I mean, his route running, his catches, his speed, his agility, his toughness has all been put into question over the last couple of years because he hasn't played in such a long time. So if I'm Calvin Ridley, I'm like that Jay-Z song, allow me to reintroduce myself. and that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to shine. He's definitely going to go out here and shine. He's going to go out there and show people, that, listen, I'm one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. If you forgot, let me remind you.
Couple of more for former Jaguar Pro Bowl offensive tackle Leon Searcy. You get him every day on XL Primetime. You get him weekly here on Hacker After Dark. And beginning Sunday, he'll be with myself and the head coach Dave Campo for another season of the fifth quarter. Leon, they're playing Anthony Richardson on Sunday, a rookie quarterback making his debut. Shane Steichen, a rookie head coach in Indianapolis, making his debut. If you're Mike Caldwell, the Jaguar defensive coordinator, how do you try to confuse the rookie quarterback to giving you a couple of turnovers?
Well, I mean, you're dealing with the uncertainty and the unfamiliar because you don't really have any film on him outside of what he played at Florida. But if I'm Coach Caldwell, what I'm doing is I'm going to get film from the Philadelphia Eagles, because the offensive coordinator, the same thing, how he utilized Jalen Hurts last year, as far as zone reads and play actions and quarterback counters and long balls. So I mean, listen, I'm going to watch film and how he utilized it. Now, don't get me wrong, Anthony Richardson isn't as dynamic as Jalen Hurts is right now. I mean, I think the Indianapolis Colts are hoping somewhere in the down run that he develops into a guy like that. But I'm watching film on, what do they like to use? I mean, because I'm sure a lot of the components that we use with Jalen Hurts is going to be used this Sunday against us. So I'm going to be familiar with some of the plays, some of the ways they utilize him in the run game and the passing game. And but you got to stay on the attack. The fact that Jonathan Taylor is not going to be there, we need to stymie the run game. We need to absolutely stymie the run game, make it non-existent. And then you've got to be consistent in your rush lanes. There's nothing more demoralizing to a defense is when you got them backed up like a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 15, 3rd and long, and Anthony Richardson with his his agility and his effectiveness to get away from guys where he runs for a first down. So you got to be able to stay in your rush lanes. You got to put pressure on this guy. You got to force him to throw in the tight windows. You got to force him to second guess himself. You got to when he's going through his progressions. It's our job to mix and match our coverages and make sure we confuse him. So, I expect this kid to play like a first-time rookie quarterback. I mean, he's going to be effective sometimes, but it's going to be our job to make him ineffective and how he plays the game. So that's what I would do if I was Coach Caldwell.
Leon, as we begin to wrap up, we spent so much time talking about Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen, and with good reason, right? Those are the guys that need to really make plays. But yesterday, the defensive captains were voted on by the team, and it was Foye Oluokun and Roy Robertson Harris. What does it say to you how the team feels about Robertson Harris and Oluokun to make them captains of this football team?
Well, listen, I think they're underappreciated, to be honest with you. And I'm glad they got the nod to be team captains. I mean, a lot of this team's the reason why this team made the run that they made is the turnaround. Getting up the passer, stopping the run. And, you're talking about two veteran guys who've been in the game and that, don't get their whistle blown enough here in Jacksonville because, it's star-studded. But I watched those guys. I watched them emerge, down the stretch, and we don't win a lot of those games if those guys aren't pushing the pocket and aren't stopping the run and making, sideline to sideline tackle. So good for them, good for them. And, if I'm not sure how the voting process go. I'm not sure if it's the players that vote or if it's the coaching staff, but it's well-deserved either way.
Do they win the game on Sunday, Leon, on the fifth quarter? Are we talking about a W?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I mean, I got the Jaguars winning 27-13.
You get a 2-touchdown victory on the road in the division. That would be a heck of a way to start the season. There is no question about that. It's a big weekend for you because on Saturday, your alma mater, Miami, plays Texas A&M. Leon, that's a big game for both teams. Big game for Mario, big game for Jimbo. How do you see that one on Saturday?
Well, I mean, I watched the game Friday against Miami of Ohio. I liked a lot about Miami. I liked I like their aggressiveness defensively. They got some guys up front that get after the ball carrier and get after the quarterback. The linebackers play well. I think we got a solid secondary. So defensively, I like the way they swarmed after the runner, got after the passer, tackles for loss. So I'm good with that. Offensively, as far as the offensive line go, I think they're a work in progress. I think we're bigger and we're massive than what we've been in the past. I think you're talking about 6'5", 6'6", 300-something pounds across the table. Interiorly, I think we're solid. We got the Alabama transfer at left guard. We got the UCF transfer at center position. 2 guys are coming back, our left tackle and our right guard. And then, we got Francois Mawagua at right tackle, who's the number 1 offensive tackle recruit in the nation last year, who's only 18 years old. So he's got to grow up fast. I think that if they play listen, Miami, Ohio is not Texas A&M. So the only person that scares me right now is Van Pelt. He made some passes. The interception was just terrible. He felt like he was shot putting that pass. It's in the air so long. I just see a different Miami team that I've seen in the past. More athletic, more physical. Seems to be competing at a different level. So I'm hoping for a Miami win. Beating Texas A&M is going to shot put the program. It's going to definitely do wonders for Mario as far as confidence goes and as far as kids go, because a big game like that needs to be won.
There's no question. It's a big weekend with Miami and Texas A&M on Saturday, and, of course, the Jaguars and the Colts on Sunday. Leon, the next time you and I talk, we'll be joined by head coach Dave Campo. Another year of the 5th quarter. I cannot wait, my friend. I'll see you out there on Sunday.
You got it.
There you go. Always enjoy Leon Searcy for joining us here on Hacker After Dark. And, again, he'll join myself and Dave Campo Sunday, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Colts for the season debut of the 5th quarter. Couple of things, some house cleaning. Number 1, if you had Amon-Ra St. Brown on your fantasy team tonight, good for you. The first touchdown of the year. Jared Goff to St. Brown, Detroit 7-0 over Kansas City. Kansas City does have the ball right around midfield, the end of the first quarter, but the Lions have gone into Arrowhead and taken a 7-0 lead. Again, no Travis Kelce tonight for the Chiefs. No Chris Jones tonight for the Chiefs. And Jaguar fans, you got to love that start. You would love to see Kansas City lose that game tonight. Any loss for the Chiefs is a win here in Jacksonville. So we'll keep you updated. Also, Florida Gator fans. Yeah, it wasn't the start you wanted. The season didn't get off to a great start, but you're back at home. The home opener, Saturday night, McNeese State rolls in. ESPNU on the television side, right here on 1010XL on the radio side, or better yet, if you want to go to the Swamp to see the home opener on Saturday night, we got a pair of tickets for you right now. Simply be caller number 4 at 641-1010, and we will send you to Florida and McNeese State Saturday night down at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Caller 4, Dylan Denmark will hook you up right now, 641-1010.
Come hang with XL Primetime for lunch this Friday at ABBQ for a pro football kickoff. Enter the 1010 Pick'em contest in person for a chance to win a $100 gift card. XL Primetime live Friday from noon to 3 at ABBQ.
The best time of the year for blue crabs right now at the Blue Crab Crab House. They've been open since 1996, and they are a staple here in Duval. Sundays, you have the Bloody Mary specials. Mimosas as well, $2.50 noon until 5 o'clock. Of course, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oysters. Right off of San Jose on Julington Creek Road, it is the Blue Crab Crab House.
Hey folks, you know you want shark coatings, and the time is now. So close your eyes and let's imagine your garage. Wait, if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. Just wait till you get home. The rest of you see those cracks, the stains? It looks dark, dull, and dreary. It's nothing you're proud of. It's your house junk drawer. Now, see your floor with Shark Coatings. It's bright, it's durable, it's fresh. Since it's non-porous, it will be so much easier to clean. Don't imagine your garage, driveway, porch, or pool deck this way. Get with Shark Coatings and have a brand new space with new possibilities.
Ready to snag the best deals in Jacksonville? Come by Century Firearms for unbeatable prices and an extensive inventory that caters to all tastes. From hunting to shooting, we've got it all. Brands like Glock, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, and Kimber. Everything from sidearms to rifles. Need some gear for your upcoming outdoor adventures? We can load you up. Elevate your adventure today at Century Firearms, where we make buying guns easy. San Jose and Mandarin Road, online at jacksguns.com.
Bert Kreischer presents Tops Off World Tour.
I look at my dad, I go, hey dad, maybe we should sit down. I don't think your owl's out tonight. 30 seconds later, whoo, right on top of it we hear, whoo. My oldest daughter goes, Dad, look across the lake at the old man on his dock. There's another drunk, blind old white man just, whoo.
Bert Kreischer live on stage. Saturday, October 14th, VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's time to play Fix That Air Conditioning Problem. What do you do when your AC stops working? Contestant 1?
Put a box fan in the window?
No, that doesn't really fix the problem. Contestant 2? That's right, just call the Duck.
Don't let AC problems linger. Call the pros at Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Commercial, residential, any HVAC issue or project.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
As your favorite football teams gear up for the season, so is the team at River City Lighting on Phillips Highway. Come in this week during their moving sale and score big-time savings with everything 40 to 70% off. This moving sale includes all lighting, fans, mirrors, fountains, and artwork. Hurry in today for the best selection and find the lights of your dreams at River City Lighting and the Fan Man on Phillips Highway, just north of 295.
If you're a Jaguars fan who's always on the move, we've got the perfect ticket for you with our Bundle at the Bank. You can purchase tickets to 3 or more games, starting at just $58 per game. Whether you're working around a work schedule or excited to share the hometown team with out-of-town family, you get the flexibility you want for your time at Everbank this fall. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 to get your Bundle at the Bank.
There's certain places you know if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Colt Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
Prosser here. Make sure you stop by Lifetime Enclosures this Friday while me and Dan are live on location. It's football season, which means specials on glass enclosures with flooring all weekend long. Enjoy the outdoors, indoors, open house runs Friday through Sunday. Come in today.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The annual Knights of Columbus Hold'em for Life poker tournament is September 23rd at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall. All profits go to the Women's Help Center, supporting women in need, especially expectant mothers. To play or sponsor, call 868-8837.
You can be part of a fishing tournament with a real local impact. The Triple Challenge Fishing Tournament, Party, and Silent Auction benefits Young Life in the Beaches community. Learn more at JacksonvilleBeachesYoungLife.org.
To learn more about the Jericho School Golf Tournament and Silent Auction at Blue Sky Golf Club October 21st, visit thejerichoschool.org.
Make a difference on the golf course, playing one of the best tournaments and help make Jacksonville a safer place to live and raise our families. The First Coast Crime Stoppers Golf Tournament is October 23rd at Amelia River Club. Call 398-5883.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. This just in on Hacker After Dark.
All right, 2 pieces of news in the National Football League coming out. One, out in Kansas City, they have tied the game. Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, first touchdown pass of the year for Mahomes, 7 apiece. Chiefs and Lions right at the beginning of the second quarter. We will keep you updated. But Denmark, how about this? According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Joe Burrow has reached an agreement with the Cincinnati Bengals on a new 5-year, $275 million extension that includes, get ready for this, $219 million in guaranteed money, makes him the highest paid player in the history of the National Football League. $275 for Joe Burrow, 5-year extension. Again, $219 million of that is guaranteed. Why does that matter more than it might matter to some for you guys and gals here in Jacksonville? Well, Trevor Lawrence is going to be up next year for another extension. And if Lawrence has the year that we all hope and believe he will have, will he want north of $275 million, which is what Joe Burrow just got this evening from Cincinnati. Denmark, that's a lot of money, man. You think Burrow, I mean, certainly he's worth a lot of money, but is he worth that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the market's going for, and it's just going up and up. So, I mean, you know it's getting there, and Trevor's going to get somewhere in that ballpark next year. So it's just a reality.
It's a great night for Joe Burrow, no question about it. I have Cincy in the Super Bowl against Philadelphia with Cincinnati winning the Super Bowl, and Joe Burrow certainly will be in a positive frame of mind now after a $275 million extension with Cincinnati. Kansas City kicking it back to Detroit, 7 apiece out at Arrowhead, NFL regular season opener. We will keep you updated. Every week here on Hacker After Dark, it's Hack and Little Hack make the picks. Me against my 4-year-old son. We do 2 college games and the Jaguar game. Now, last week we did Florida and Florida State. Little Hack went 1-1. He got Utah right. He got LSU wrong. I started out 2-0. I was pretty happy. I picked Florida State to win. I picked Utah to win. Daddy was the winner there. What about this week's edition? A Hack and Little Hack make the picks. We're going to pick Miami, Texas A&M, Alabama, Texas, and, of course, Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Here it is. Hack and Little Hack make the picks on Hacker After Dark.
Now, the Otterson Wealth Advisors Risk-Reward Picks of the Week. Otterson Wealth Advisors, your goals, our expertise.
And he's back, folks. Week 2 of the picks. It's Hack versus Little Hack here on Hacker After Dark. Last week, I went 2-0. I was fired up. Little Hack went 1-1. He nailed the Utah game. He missed Florida State. He wasn't a believer in the Seminoles like I was, Seminole fans. But we're back. 2 college games and, of course, the Jaguar game coming up on Sunday. Little Hack, are you fired up for week 2?
Yes.
Are you upset that LSU let you down last week?
No, I'm taking my best to win.
You're doing your best to win. Well, that's good, buddy. All right. This week, we're not going to pick Florida and Florida State because those games are atrocious. So let's go on state of Florida. Miami and Texas A&M down in South Florida, Little Hack. The Hurricanes and the Aggies. Who do you like, Miami or Texas A&M?
Miami.
You're taking Miami to beat Texas A&M. What a win that would be. Are you picking Miami because they're in the state of Florida?
Yes, Kurt, I love you guys, and I talk to you guys, and I watch you on video every night on Hacker After Dark.
All right, very good. The last college game we're going to pick this week, Little Hack, Alabama and Texas, the Crimson Tide and the Longhorns. Who do you like between Alabama and Texas on Saturday night?
The Longhorns.
You think Texas is going to beat Alabama?
Yeah.
Wow, so he is going Miami over Texas A&M. He's going Texas. What an upset that would be over Alabama. I am going to pick Miami as well, but I'm obviously going to go Alabama. So we have one the same and one different. Now, Little Hack, as we wrap up week 2 of the picks, the game everybody wants to know about, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts, the opener for the Jaguars. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL Sunday at 1 o'clock. Little Hack, who wins, Jacksonville or Indianapolis?
Indianapolis, I will call you guys every night on Hacker After Dark on video or on the TV.
Wait a minute. Whoa, you just buried the lead. Are you picking Indianapolis to beat the Jaguars? Well, hold on. So you're taking the Colts to beat Jacksonville on Sunday. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes.
Oh, little hack. Come on, man. All right, the Colts are beating the Jaguars according to Little Hack. I could not possibly disagree more. Little Hack, you want to add anything as we wrap up?
I'll call you guys every day on Hacker After Dark.
And you're sure you're taking the Colts?
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks. He's taking Indy. I'm taking Jacksonville. We'll be back for week 3 of the picks next Thursday night. It's Hack and Little Hack. Make the picks right here on Hacker After Dark. Oh, there you go. You don't get analysis like that anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. Otterson Wealth Advisors risk-reward picks of the week here on Hacker After Dark. Cannot believe my man's taking Indianapolis. Good heavens. But he is. Even though, if you follow me on Twitter, Sunday morning, Little Hack will have a very special message for the Jaguar fans leading into the season opener up in Indianapolis. Detroit moving the ball. They're back in Kansas City territory, about the Chiefs' 40-yard line or so. Again, a 7-7 game. We got, it's still pretty early on in the second quarter. We will keep you updated. Later on in the 9 o'clock hour, bottom of the 9 o'clock hour, Kurt Weiler of the Osceola. We have not talked near enough, in my opinion, about Florida State. To the victors go the spoils, man. We should have spent more time on the Noles this week after what they did in beating LSU in Orlando. They have a home opener. They got a weird game. It's an 8:30 kick Saturday night on the ACC network against a decent Southern Miss team. Look, I don't think Florida State's going to lose, but if you're a Seminole fan in Orlando or Tampa, are you going to Doak Campbell for an 8:30 kick? That game won't get over until midnight or after. It's a bizarre time. But we'll talk to Kurt Weiler of the Osceola about Mike Norvell, about Florida State, and certainly what they did in Orlando last week in dismantling LSU. Coming up in less than 15 minutes, my man Derek Schultz up in Indianapolis. He has covered the Colts forever. He is one of our guys. He is our main guy when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts, and he will join us to give the Colts side of this matchup on Sunday. Now, keep in mind, Hacker After Dark turns into the Friday Night Lights postgame tomorrow night, so I will not talk to you on Hacker After Dark again until the game Sunday. I'm picking Jacksonville to win. As I said last week, and as I said earlier this week, if the Jaguars are who we believe they are, who we think they are, you go to Indy and you take care of business. You got the better quarterback, you got the better skill position, you got the better head coach, you got the better roster. I know you haven't won an Indy in forever. I know it's a road game in the division, opening day. I get all of that. But if you are who we believe you are, you go to Indy and you take care of business. And I think that's exactly what Jacksonville will do on Sunday. We'll recap all of it 2 hours after the game on the fifth quarter. Dave Campo, Leon Searcy, and myself, 9 Ball Heaven, our brand new location on University Boulevard. Coming up next, let's go to Indianapolis. Derek Schultz, ISC Sportsnet. He's covered the Colts for years. Let's talk Anthony Richardson, and let's get Indy's thoughts. Maybe a quiet confidence up in Indy about this game on Sunday. We'll do that next. Hacker After Dark on a Thursday night in Jacksonville, Florida, and we are glad you are with us.
Prepare yourself for the most anticipated season in Jags history with 1010XL's Jags Roundtable.
Jeff Prosser, Aaron Beasley, and Mike Duraco.
Discuss, debate, and dream about the new era in Duval football. Yeah. Get the Jags Roundtable where you find podcasts. Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you ready for the ultimate happy hour experience? Look no further than Bellwether, downtown's undisputed champion of good times. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7 p, with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 a.m. Rally the team and head over to Bellwether. The vibe is full and the food is unbeatable. Free parking after 6 p on weekdays and all weekend. Bellwether Restaurant, where great food and the best happy hour in town come together for an epic win.
Half of me wants a cool.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Thomas Rhett here. My Home Team Tour 23 is on sale now.
Thomas Rhett, Home Team Tour 23, with special guests Cole Swindell and Nate Smith. Friday, September 15th, VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. On sale now.
Get your tickets at livenation.com and come party with us.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford.
Well, Jacksonville, as we turn the TV on in hopes of hearing something positive, we're hit with another mass shooting or murder on the local level. It seems to never end. We pray, we fast, and any number of other things. We do have to understand, as James said in the Bible, paraphrasing, prayer without works is dead. We as a community have got to get active to remove these individuals from our streets. How do we do that? Glad you asked. You can become a member of Mad Dash by calling 904-718-1649. We will train you on how to go to the streets to remove the individuals responsible for the crime from the community. We've got to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think.
For information about Mad Dad, go to Mad Dash Jacksonville Chapter Facebook or madd-jacksonville.com.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 7th, 1986, Dan Marino throws his 100th career touchdown pass in his 44th NFL game, breaking Johnny Unitas' record for the fastest to hit that mark.
Did you know the new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid has an onboard system that charges the battery so you never have to plug it in? When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100%, feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
If you're at home on the range, tee it up with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Tour news, local updates, and the latest gear. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. Hacker, After Dark on 1010XL.
And back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Colts, Sunday at 1 o'clock to kick off the 2023 NFL regular season. The Jaguars are 1-8 in their last 9 trips to Indianapolis, with their only win coming in 2017. Will that change on Sunday? Well, let's get the Colts side of things with our guy Derek Schultz. He's one of our guys when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts. He's with ISC Sportsnet, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Derek, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Hack. I got 2 things for you if you really want to impress your listeners. One, the Colts are I'll see you're 1-8, and I'll raise you. They are 0-8-1 in their last 9 season openers.
Wow.
And do you happen to know the opposing quarterback, the last time the Colts won a season opener? It was against the Raiders.
Wow, that would have been, 10 years ago? It was like somebody crazy, like Trent Edwards or somebody like that.
You're kind of in the right category. Terrell Pryor.
Wow.
Was the last starting quarterback. That's how long it's been since the Colts have won a season opener.
Absolutely crazy. You got to go back a decade. So we'll see. Something has to change, right? History's got to change in some regard on Sunday up in Indianapolis. All right, Derek, it's the debut of Anthony Richardson. Man, a guy that we know very well down here from his days at Florida. How excited are the Colts, the fan base, everybody up there about seeing AR debut on Sunday?
Well, of course it's exciting. I mean, you guys have kind of been through it a little more often than the folks here in Indianapolis have when you're drafting a new quarterback in the top 10. Of course, it's new, it's fresh. You're thinking pie in the sky, right? What is the ceiling for this player? And I think a lot of the fans here have those things in mind, while also understanding that in the interim, the waiting period, 2023, maybe 2024, who knows when Anthony Richardson eventually can hit the ground running, year 3, year 4, something like that, that there are going to be some bumps along the way. So I think fans here have accepted that they're going to have to be a little more patient. But clearly here, Ryan, there's a lot of frustration because Colts fans have been pretty patient. It's been since 2014 that they've won the division, and here there's a sense of entitlement about the AFC South because the Colts dominated the division for so long. So there's some fans that it takes some getting used to for them to understand and accept the reality that this team got knocked off the throne a long time ago. And while we've seen Jacksonville come up and win it, we've seen Houston come up and win it a couple times. We've even seen Tennessee come up and win it a couple times. The Colts haven't been able to do so, and it certainly doesn't look like they're going to do so regardless of how Anthony Richardson plays in 2023.
Derek Schultz of ISC Sportsnet covering the Indianapolis Colts. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Derek, not only is Anthony Richardson making his debut, Shane Steichen is making his debut as the Colts head coach. You've covered a lot of coaches in Indianapolis. What's your thought on Steichen and the job he's going to do there?
I think he makes a lot of sense. In fact, he made the most sense of they cast a very wide net, Ryan, as far as the head coach was concerned. I think they actually talked to 14 people, and 1 or 2 turned them down. So this was a very extensive coaching search back in January and into early February. But I think where Steichen makes the most sense is what he just did in Philadelphia is what he's going to have to do with Anthony Richardson. You had a guy in Jalen Hurts who had traits, right? But you essentially had to teach Jalen Hurts how to play quarterback on this level. And I think that's exactly what he's going to have to do with Anthony Richardson. He's got traits out the wazoo, traits upon traits upon traits. That's all great. But you've got to learn how to play NFL quarterback. And that's what he's going to be entrusted to do with this 21-year-old lump of clay. Something else that I like about him is that regardless of who he's had, he's been able to cater his offenses to make them potent and entertaining and successful. We saw it back in San Diego and LA with Justin Herbert in year 1, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then you go to Phillip Rivers as well, who was kind of in his swan song seasons there with the Chargers and making that work. So I can't think of 2 different quarterbacks in NFL history, much less in modern history, than Jalen Hurts and a 38-year-old Phillip Rivers. And he made both of those guys successful. So I think a lot of fans here are optimistic that he's going to do the same with his new young quarterback in Anthony Richardson.
The crazy thing about Indianapolis, and isn't this like the 7th consecutive year they've had a different starting quarterback on opening day? I mean, that's crazy. Now, hopefully that changes now with AR, but that just goes to show you where this organization has been really since Andrew Luck retired in the fashion that he did.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a quirk there because 2017 they started Scott Tolzien in week 1, and that was when Andrew Luck missed the entire season. So I think really the clock starts in 2019 because you had Brissett in 2019 and then to Rivers and then to Wentz, and then to Ryan, and now to Richardson. But yeah, I mean, even then, 5 years, having the same quarterback. Technically, you're right, Hack. It's been a revolving door. And this is a town that saw Peyton Manning make 220 consecutive starts or whatever it was from 1998 through 2010. So it's been there have been a lot of things here. We talked about the division, but also with the quarterback. Fans here have had to get used to what life is like for the rest of the league. They had it pretty good for a long time, and they complained about the fact, well, we only won one Super Bowl and we only went twice. I think fans have been humbled a little bit by what they've had to go through these last 7, 8, 9 years.
Derek, we know Jonathan Taylor will not be there on Sunday. He's going to miss the first 4 games. I guess the question is, will Jonathan Taylor play at all this year for the Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah, the $1 million question, right? Or I guess, I don't know, the $12 million per year question, depending on how much money Jonathan Taylor wants. I don't know. I think they think that he is still in their plans for 2023. Taylor doesn't have a lot of leverage here. He's only made $6 million through his first 3 years, which is part of the reason that I think he's so unhappy with the situation that he's in right now. But he is not a guy like Chris Jones or remember Brett Favre all those years ago? He sat out training camp. Brett Favre can do that. Brett Favre's making $25 million a year. Jonathan Taylor can't do that. He's going to get fined, and he can't afford all of those fines. He's not sitting on a huge pile of money, and he needs this year to go through so he can be an unrestricted free agent, because if he doesn't play, then the year tolls and he has to be an RFA instead of a UFA. So I know I'm getting into the weeds when it comes to the NFL contract structure and all of that. But, long story short, Taylor doesn't have a lot of cards to play here. He has to come back and play eventually. And I still think the Colts hope that that's going to be week 5, but it depends on what happens with this ankle. All this talk about the contract, what people are missing here is that Taylor is apparently still hurt, and he's telling people that he's hurt. So if he's hurt, that gives you even more apprehension on inking a long-term deal at a position where no one's getting long-term deals. Look at what Jacobs went through with the Raiders. Look at what Saquon Barkley went through with the Giants. Those guys had to take low-end, 1-year, face-saving deals. So it is a buyer's market right now, and Taylor, unfortunately, is trying to be a seller.
Couple of more for Derek Schultz, ISC Sportsnet, covering the Indianapolis Colts. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Derek, on Sunday afternoon, what are the weapons that Anthony Richardson will have at his disposal? The running game, the wide receivers. We know about Pittman, Pierce. I like the rookie Downs out of North Carolina a lot. How do the skill position players look going into Sunday?
Yeah, pretty mediocre, honestly. But they're hoping that there's going to be some growth and some evolution there. Jaguar fans are obviously, at this point, they're familiar with Michael Pittman Jr. He's essentially, I guess, been their default number 1 for the last couple of years. And he's in a contract year just like Taylor, because he was in that 2020 draft, and he's playing for a big deal. He wants to show that he's the number 1 so he can get paid like a number 1. There are high hopes, even though he didn't particularly have a great preseason. Alec Pierce, who was last year's second-round pick, who had a nice rookie season and has shown himself to be a deep ball threat. They really like the guy that you just mentioned there, Hack, and Josh Downs. Really, really like him as a slot guy, as a possession guy. If you're in a PPR league, that might be a deep roster option for you, because he's going to get a lot of targets and a lot of chances to be productive in this offense. But they've only rostered 4 wide receivers. Ashton Dulin, their special teams ace, who was their kind of deep reserve wide receivers, out for the year. So they don't have a lot of bodies there. They like their tight ends, but a lot of those guys are unproven, and some of them, like Jelani Woods, are still hurt. So, they got a guy in Kylan Granson, who has had a great preseason and a terrific camp, who I'm assuming is going to get the lion's share of the targets there at tight end, who's a very athletic guy. At running back, it's just going to be by committee. They hope to have Zach Moss back for week 1. They don't know if that's going to happen. There are some guys that they are working out, including a guy that you guys are familiar with in Jacksonville, and Josh Robinson, who they brought in, hoping to add a veteran presence there. Evan Hull, a draft pick from Northwestern at running back. I mean, they've got kind of a no-name stable of running backs. But overall, it's not where it needs to be. They need a lot of growth in that area, and they need to add some more talent, and really they need some more bodies as far as the skill positions are concerned.
Yeah, this seems like forever ago, but James Robinson actually scored a 50-yard touchdown for Jacksonville against Indianapolis week 2 last year. And that seems like forever ago. Goes to show you how long a calendar year really is. All right, so defensively, Gus Bradley, we're obviously very familiar with him. The question is, will he have Shaq Leonard there in the middle of his defense on Sunday?
He's still in the concussion protocol. Sometimes this stuff is game time with him, but I would think I would lean towards no right now. But I don't know that. That's just a guess, Hack. He also has had the back issues. It's been a really rough 18 months for Shaquille Leonard, unfortunately for him, and trying to get healthy and trying to get back to the player that he once was. I think it's probably going to go right up until kickoff. First off, he's got to clear the protocol, so he's got to do that first. So maybe it won't go that quickly, or get that strung out, I guess I should say. But I would not expect to see Shaq Leonard out there in the opener. Regardless, they like what they have up front. It's the secondary that is the challenge. They're going to start Dallas Flowers, who is a former UDFA, who was basically a return man for them at one of the cornerback spots. They used a second-round pick on Juju Brents out of Kansas State, who has been hurt. And it's been tough for him to kind of come along and learn and develop here in his first training camp and in his first preseason. They released Darius Rush, their 5th-round pick, because he got passed by Jalen Jones, a 7th-round pick who's only 21 years old. So they have a lot of young talent. It's just young and unproven talent at cornerback. But up front, it's the usual suspects. DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart are one of the best defensive tackle pairings in the entire league. They're both Pro Bowl to all-pro caliber players. And then I know the Colts are really high on both year 3, Kwity Paye and Dayo Odeyingbo really hitting and turning that pass rush around, which has been really non-existent since the peak Robert Mathis, Dwight Freeney years. And you got to go back, we're talking 10, 11, 12 years ago.
Derek Schultz, ISC Sportsnet. Derek, as we make the turn for home, look, I'm not breaking any news here. With Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley and Kirk and Zay Jones and Evan Ingram, you mentioned that Colts secondary. I agree with you. The strength of the Colts is the front four. You got to get after Trevor on Sunday, right? I mean, I would think blitzes, an unproven offensive line, particularly at the offensive tackle spots for Jacksonville. The Colts got to get to Lawrence, right? That's their key to winning.
Yeah, they just have to be more aggressive, Hack. You guys have seen it. I think Trevor Lawrence's completion percentage last year against the Colts was like in the high 80s. He only had like a handful of incompletions because I think the Colts were just a little too content with keeping everything in front of them and just kind of letting them dink and dunk. I remember the season opener in 20 when it was Gardner Minshew, and he went, I think, like 22 of 23 or something.
I think
like
he was
that.
19 of 20. It was insane.
Yeah. Sure, whatever it was, and it was north of 90%. And I just think the Colts need to get a little bit more aggressive when it comes to really kind of pushing the issue. And the problem is that you're leaving that young and unproven secondary open to big plays. And I think they want to be cautious of that. But I would expect them to be a little bit more aggressive than they have been in some of these recent matchups with Jacksonville.
All right, Derek, as we say goodbye, look, I'm going back and forth on this game, and I'll tell you why. Lucas Oil Field has been a house of horrors for the Jaguars. They have lost in some amazing ways there, including last year, Matt Ryan to Alec Pierce, getting behind former Jaguar, now Shaquille Griffin. The Jaguars have lost in amazing ways. Now, they exercised some demons in Nashville last year against the Titans, which gives me a little hope. But I'm at the point almost now where until they go to Indy and win, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to pick them to do it. So, I mean, do the Colts feel like they could pull the upset on Sunday?
Yeah, it's weird because very much Indy to Jacksonville is what Jacksonville's been like to Indy. You talk about House of Horrors. I think it kind of cuts both ways. The home team has just dominated this series. I think Colts fans, I mentioned that arrogance, they still look at the division games as games that they can win every time that they're out there. And I think a lot of that has to do with it's just been kind of this revolving door and this carousel. There hasn't really been anybody that's taken over the division. But it looks like Jacksonville is certainly primed to do that with a young Trevor Lawrence. Jacksonville is projected to be a double-digit win team. They are clearly the favorite in the division. So I would be lying to you if I said that the Colts and their fans should expect to win this game, even though it's week one. But it's week one. Weird crap happens all the time in week one. We saw it happen a couple of years ago. The Jags' only win was week one, and it just happened to be against the Colts. So, would it shock me if the Colts ended up winning at home? I guess not, because nothing in week one shocks me, but I'm certainly not going to put myself out there and say that the Colts are going to win this game with Anthony Richardson making his first NFL start against Lawrence and that embarrassment of riches that he has as far as his skill position talent is concerned.
I echo everything you said. I'm telling Jaguar fans down here, be very careful on Sunday. Week one is an interesting thing. You haven't won in Indianapolis in forever, and I think that's a real thing. Now, they went into Nashville and finally won last year. We'll see if they can finally go into Indy and win for only the second time in the last decade plus. Derek Schultz, ISC Sportsnet. He's our guy when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts. Derek, appreciate the time. Go rest for about a month because you and I will do this all over again. The NFL loves scheduling the Colts and the Jaguars twice in the first month and a half. We'll do it all over again here in Jacksonville in about 5 weeks, my friend.
Always enjoy our business, my man. Thanks so much.
Sometimes the most important position in sports needs a translator.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security. Security and automation experts.
Bailiff, what's the next case?
Judge, the defendant has been accused of pouring cooking grease down the kitchen sink.
I didn't know where to put it, Your Honor.
See? Guilty.
Who's the plaintiff?
His wife, Your Honor.
Are there damages?
No, Your Honor. I called for help and the drain was fixed.
Who did you call?
For any drain issues, just call the Duck. The pros at Duck Duck Rooter.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
The best time of the year for blue crabs right now at the Blue Crab Crab House. They've been open since 1996, and they are a staple here in Duval. Sundays, you have the Bloody Mary specials, mimosas as well, $2.50 noon until 5 o'clock. Of course, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oysters. Right off of San Jose on Julington Creek Road, it is the Blue Crab Crab House.
If you're looking for exterior solutions that provide you reliability and durability, it's time to call Armor Guard Exteriors. Whether you need seamless gutters or gutter protection, hurricane products, impact windows, glass lanais, or retractable awnings and screens, we've got you covered. Call My Home Team today for your 5-star experience at 904-906-8669.
Armor Guard Exteriors, committed to quality, and that's a promise.
Even as prices seem higher on almost everything lately, you can count on Famous Quick Lube to still have the best price in town on quick oil change service. Visit any of their 13 locations, including the new shop on San Jose and now in Jax Beach. The Famous team will have your oil changed, tires rotated, and fluids topped off before you can finish your coffee. For fast, friendly service, personal VIP attention, and the best price in town, go to Famous Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
I'm Taylor Dahl on your Gator Station. 1010XL is your pipeline to Gator Nation. Listen for the Gator Report all year round.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts. On the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go Gators!
ET here. If you're a licensed property and casualty agent and frustrated with your current situation, be your own boss with an Australia franchise. Opportunities available all over Northeast Florida. Visit AustraliaInsurance.com to learn more.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org.
Apply by May 18th.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The annual Knights of Columbus Hold'em for Life poker tournament is September 23rd at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall. All profits go to the Women's Help Center, supporting women in need, especially expectant mothers. To play or sponsor, call 868-8837.
You can be part of a fishing tournament with a real local impact. The Triple Challenge Fishing Tournament, Party, and Silent Auction benefits Young Life in the Beaches community. Learn more at JacksonvilleBeachesYoungLife.org.
To learn more about the Jericho School Golf Tournament and Silent Auction at Blue Sky Golf Club October 21st, visit thejerichoschool.org.
Make a difference on the golf course, playing one of the best tournaments and help make Jacksonville a safer place to live and raise our families. The First Coast Crime Stoppers Golf Tournament is October 23rd at Amelia River Club. Call 398-5883.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Florida State, their home opener on Saturday against Southern Miss. And boy, what a performance by Mike Norvell and the Seminoles last week, and a dominating win over a top 10 at the time ranked LSU football team. Let's head to Tallahassee. One of our guys over there is Kurt Weiler of the Osceola. That is the Rivals website that covers Florida State, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Kurt, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
I would imagine anybody that covers Florida State is doing well. The fan base is on cloud 9 right now. Kurt, what has been the reaction in the days after the dismantling of LSU in Orlando? What a game by Florida State.
I would say the reaction is exuberation for sure. I think there's also a bit of relief, because I think there was belief in how good this team could be, a belief in the stars kind of aligning a bit with this team, with all the guys they brought back, with who they brought in over this could be a special season. I mean, building off of a nice season last year with 10 wins in a bowl game. But this, I think there was, belief in this, and you heard it even some nationally, about this could be a college football playoff team. And I think, obviously, a lot of games left to play. Mike Norvell will be the first person to tell you that, but they definitely looked the part in game one. And so I think there's quite a bit of joy.
Kurt, I want to talk about the game on Sunday, and I want to certainly look ahead to the rest of the season as we move forward. But I believe this week is the 2-year anniversary of the Jacksonville State game, where Jacksonville State, which was a 1AA team at the time, won on a 60-yard play to end the game with a busted coverage by the Florida State defense. And I remember talking to Seminole fans at that point where they thought that was rock bottom for the program. For a 1AA team to go in there and win on a 60-yarder at the buzzer, it was ridiculous. And that was just 2 years ago, man. And now we are where we are right now. Kurt, how did this happen in just 2 years?
I think, frankly, this team had to learn how to win. You look at even the week before that game, you're right. They've come a long way in 2 weeks. But the week before they lost to Jacksonville State, they almost beat a top 15 Notre Dame team at home. They took them to overtime and lost. So, even that year, not so much in the weeks that followed, at least the immediate weeks, but you saw right away, you saw a bit of what it was taking. But obviously, it's a good thing that Florida State was not in a financial spot to move on from another coach in less than 2 years. Obviously, even I think amidst the Jacksonville State of it all, things look better under Norvell. But yeah, it's been remarkable. As his kind of success has grown in Tallahassee, it's definitely been a large part of because of, yes, a lot of people talked about the transfers, and yes, he was able to get some better transfers this year because of kind of where Florida State was last year, but it's also because of, so many of the guys he developed. Jordan Travis was the best quarterback that Florida State had when healthy in 2020 and 2021. And you're finally seeing now, the belief that Florida State staff has had for it for a long time. So many other guys fit that mold as well. It was there weren't always days where Florida State fans thought Mike Norvell was the guy. Famously, 4 months after that game, that December, when Travis Hunter flips to Jackson State, there was the infamous fire Mike Norvell spaces. It took a bit of time, but I think even during those down times, you saw glimpses of what it could be if Mike had the time, and you are seeing the fruits of that patience paying out in a major way right now.
Kurt Weiler of the Osceola, that is the Rivals website that covers Florida State. He's here with us on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Kurt, you mentioned the transfer portal. Some teams get good players out of the transfer portal. Florida State is getting program changers. You could argue Jermaine Johnson was the first one, right? And then that went right in to Jared Verse and Johnny Wilson. And then Keon Coleman, good grief. I don't know how you have a better debut than what Keon Coleman had last week against LSU. It's not that he's doing well in the portal, Kurt. It's that he's the king of the transfer portal. How does Norvell do this every year?
It is a good question that I think coaches across the country are asking themselves right now. He has a knack for knowing what the need is, having an idea of these are things I think we need to address in the transfer portal, and far more often than not, he brings in his top target. Keon Coleman fits that mold. A guy like Fentrell Cypress, who is an all-ACC cornerback in Virginia, fits that mold. I think he performed pretty well against, I think, some pretty good wide receivers, especially one very good LSU wide receiver. I think Braden Fisk from Western Michigan, the defensive tackle, fits that mold. Just Jaheim Bell from South Carolina fits that mold. It is pretty remarkable how, he was not the most impactful, because Mel Tucker had one great year off the transfer portal when he brought Kenneth Walker III at Michigan State, and he hasn't been able to sustain it. Mike has once again sustained it. It's been pretty impressive to witness. And frankly, I wasn't entirely surprised. And I know Alex Atkins said today he wasn't entirely surprised by what Keon Coleman did, because that's what he's looked like all preseason long. He has been, I think truthfully, he's a better all-around receiver than Johnny Wilson. And for as good as Johnny was last year, it's a scary proposition. And I think you might see even more from some guys as the weeks progress. I think this is a team where it could be different guys every week, because especially in the two deep, there is talent and there are playmakers throughout.
Jordan Travis had an interesting first half in Orlando on Sunday. It wasn't terrible, but by no means was it great, but that completely changed in the second half. We saw the Jordan Travis that we all expected to see, and now, you talk about the Heisman and all the personal accolades that could potentially be in front of Jordan Travis. There's not a whole lot of resistance in the way. We'll get to Clemson in a moment. That was pathetic on Monday night. But as far as Jordan Travis and this team goes, Kurt, a lot has changed from a thought process on the Noles in the last 72 hours, from they're not going to beat LSU to they can't go to Death Valley and beat Clemson, to now the narrative is, well, it would be hard to keep them out of the playoff. It's been a crazy transformation over the last 3 or 4 days.
It is crazy how things change, because you're right that with what's happened Sunday night, which followed by what happened Sunday night in Durham, it almost feels like Florida State has to be 4-0 at the end of the month. It feels like, as crazy as it is, Florida State hasn't beaten Clemson since 2014. But from what you saw from those two teams week one, yeah, I think you absolutely think Florida State may be a road favorite in that game. We'll see how the next couple of weeks go for Clemson, but I think they're playing Charleston Southern and FAU, so they're not going to have another team that should remotely test them before the Florida State game. And the same really goes for Florida State, who's got Southern Miss this weekend and then is at Boston College next weekend. Yeah, it's you don't want to start thinking too much ahead, but it's hard not to see the schedule. I think the case can be made. Your toughest opponent may already be behind you in LSU, and you won the game by 3, almost 4 touchdowns. Those 4 touchdowns before a couple freshmen gave up a score late in their first play at Florida State. So yeah, I think it is pretty crazy. I thought Florida State had that chance. I thought this could be a playoff team. things obviously have to break right, and the early returns on that are very good.
You know, it's a long season. Obviously, look no further than Florida, Utah last year, right? Florida won the game, and Gator fans were thinking a lot of things they shouldn't have been, and lo and behold, they end up losing 7 games. Even LSU last year, right? People thought the sky was falling when LSU lost to Florida State a year ago. They turn around and have a 10-win season. So it is a long year. It's 1 week at a time. But, I mean, I would think Florida State right now, the fan base over there in Tallahassee, they got to be as high as you could possibly be on this football team moving forward.
They are. I mean, it's a throwback. I think Florida State's up to 4 in the AP poll this week, and had the second most first place votes. That came out today, and I think it's the highest they've been ranked in season since 2016. So it's been a minute since people felt this way about a Florida State team, and yeah, it's vibes are good. Vibes are immaculate, you might say, Ryan.
Final moments here with Kurt Weiler of the Osceola. Kurt, I want to get to the ACC as a whole in a moment. Quickly to this game on Saturday. Look, Florida State's going to beat Southern Miss. I'm not trying to turn this into anything that it's not. Having said that, they're going to be told how great they are all week. It's a funky, weird, late kickoff. I mean, I don't think if you don't live in Tallahassee, I don't know how many Seminole fans from Orlando or Tampa are making an 8:30 kick at Doak Campbell on Saturday night, so I'm not sure what the crowd will be like. And Southern Miss isn't chopped liver. I mean, they're not awful. They're a decent group of 5 team. Do the Noles have to be careful at all on Saturday?
I mean, I think Mike Norvell was, really right to say after that game. He is always very smart about trying to stay in the moment, trying to not look ahead. I think a lot of coaches are. I think they're kind of trained with how they talk to their players to be that way. I mean, he kind of said after that game, it was only the first step. It was a great first step, but it was only the first step, and there were, rightfully pointed out, some things Florida State has to improve. I mean, having been out there at practice this morning, I liked how Florida State, the coaching staff, you would not have known how that game went from how they went. I mean, they weren't harsher than usual or tougher than usual. It was just the same. They are very good about the status quo. They were last season when things were going well and when things were going bad, and that's kind of been true again early this season, where I've been impressed. I mean, I don't see a world. I think a world where maybe Southern Miss hangs for a while, kind of like that Georgia Tech game last year, and then Florida State eventually flexes its strengths. But the coaching staff is doing everything in its power to keep them grounded in the moment for sure.
Kurt, final question. Boy, I can't wait to that big ACC matchup next year with Cal and Florida State, or Stanford and Florida State, or that big rivalry between SMU and Florida State. Now, I know Florida State was one of the 3 votes of no, right? I believe it was them, Clemson and North Carolina. Didn't matter. That it passed, and Cal, Stanford, and SMU are coming. Where is Florida State with the conference right now?
I mean, truthfully, I think part of why it's funny Florida State voted on that, and I get why they voted no. They expressed why they voted no, kind of like it wasn't anything against the schools. It was just we didn't think it was in our best interest to vote yes. But I think frankly that move was in many ways a move by the ACC to bolster its numbers on the chance that, if something comes up, and it feels like at this point it will have to be a legal battle. It feels like the next step, if there is one for Florida State, they have not found a loophole in the grant of rights by now. I can't imagine they will. So I think at some point it may come to a legal battle with Florida State, maybe with Clemson, some other schools exploring, having to take it to court to see if they can get out of the contract, or if it is truly legally binding and they're kind of stuck. But yeah, it was a move kind of by the ACC where I think if the ACC falls below 15 members, which they're at 15 if you count Notre Dame, so they'll be at 18 next year, the ESPN can renegotiate their contract. And if they were to lose Florida State and Clemson, that contract would not be nearly as nice for the ACC. So it's, I think, kind of a preventative move by the ACC. And yeah, it'll be interesting what Florida State's schedule looks like next year if they maybe have 1 or 2 of those longer trips on there, because they're going to have to rework everything with adding them next year.
Kurt, as we say goodbye, man, Florida State fans are fired up over here in the city of Jacksonville. What do you have coming up on the Osceola over the next couple of days?
Lots of coverage. We're actually running a deal right now. If you use the code FSU4524, like the score of the game, You can, if you use that promo code, you can get a year's membership for $45.24.
That's awesome, man. That's terrific. So FSU 4524, the Rivals.com page that covers Florida State, the Osceola. Kurt Weiler is one of our guys, and they have the best coverage out there when it comes to Florida State athletics. Kurt, appreciate you, my friend. We'll do it again soon.
Sounds good. Always a pleasure, Ryan.
Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
And thank you to Kurt Weiler of the Osceola for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark as Florida State, coming off that huge win over LSU. They now get ready for Southern Miss in the home opener there at Doak Campbell Stadium on Saturday night. Takeaways from tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Well, as we talked about in hour number one, my biggest takeaway of tonight was the Jaguars and the motivation that they have. Being down in the locker room earlier today, NFL Network just happened to be showing highlights last year of the Kansas City Chiefs getting ready for the season opener tonight. And among those highlights were the victory over the Jaguars. And there were basically the entire defense in the locker room was watching those TVs on the NFL Network earlier this afternoon, watching Kansas City beat Jacksonville in the second half last year. The defense was locked into it. They were fired up. They were angry. And it was really telling to me just how much that game still bothers them and how much they want another opportunity at Kansas City, which, by the way, they'll get it next week, the home opener, when the Chiefs come to Jacksonville. So people talk about the expectations outside. Will it get to their head? I don't know, man. I saw an awfully motivated team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, when the NFL Network was showing highlights of that playoff loss one season ago. Well, that'll just about do it for what has been a very busy Thursday night here on Hacker After Dark. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Kurt Weiler of the Osceola talking Florida State. Thank you to Derek Schultz, one of my guys up in Indianapolis, ISC Sportsnet, as we got the Colts perspective of this ball game on Sunday, the season opener, Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Of course, the game will be heard right here on 1010XL Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. 2 hours after that game goes final, Dave Campo, myself, and Leon Searcy will have the fifth quarter for you, and I had a chance to speak with Leon tonight on Hacker After Dark. He'll be with us every Thursday during the football season. Always enjoy talking Jaguars and previewing Jaguar football with my friend Leon Searcy. And thank you to the Jaguar players that joined me in the locker room earlier today. Andre Cisco, Ben Barch, Foley Fatakasi, and Tyler Lacey all did one-on-one interviews with me yesterday and today, and I certainly want to thank Jaguars PR for all their help in getting us into the locker room and getting those interviews set up. Now, tomorrow night, the Hacker After Dark turns into the Friday Night Lights. We will be here following Bowls football and Bishop Kenny football on 1010 AM and 92.5 FM. We will have Victorious head coaches all over the place here in Northeast Florida. Again, Hacker After Dark tomorrow night on a Friday turns in to the Friday Night Lights postgame show. With that, this is the final Hacker After Dark before the Jaguars finally kick off their regular season Sunday at 1 o'clock. I am taking Jacksonville to go to Indianapolis and win a football game for the first time in 6 years. If the Jaguars are who I believe they are, they go to Indy and they take care of business. On Sunday, they have the better quarterback. They have the better skill position. They got the more experienced head coach. They simply have the better team. I know it's a road game, opening day in the division. I get all of that. If you are who we think you are, go win the football game. And that is exactly what I expect Jacksonville to do Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'll be with you tomorrow night on the high school pregame show and again under the Friday Night Lights. And again, I invite you to join us Sunday evening, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Colts. Dave Campo, Leon Searcy, and myself, 9 Ball Heaven, University Boulevard, for the season debut of the fifth quarter. Have an absolutely terrific Thursday night, Jacksonville. For Dylan Denmark, I'm the hacker Ryan Green, and I will talk to you tomorrow night under the Friday Night Lights. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
Four quarters are good. A fifth is better. It's the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter from 9 Ball Habit. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day. Brought to you by Osteen, Volvo, and Volkswagen. And Dr. George Barney and Barney Orthopedics.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit Smoonez Vision.